of that, I just want to tell you the country has never been in better shape. We went through this short-term disaster with the Democrats because they thought it would be good politically. And it's an honor now to sign this incredible bill and get our country working again. Thank you.
So the government shutdown has officially ended after 43 days. This has been the longest shutdown in American history. All right, but it's still a lot going on in the world, but hopefully now we can get all the air traffic controls back and paid, and all the military can continue to get paid, and all the workers that's been furloughed, they can come back now and get money. So it's a trying time in the country right now. But hopefully this is a step in the right direction. I know it's not back to our regularly scheduled program because there's always something going on. And I've seen something in the news with the Epstein emails and all that, but I ain't gonna get into that. But we are officially back. The government is officially open after 43 days, the longest in history. That's insane. But we're back, boys.
So finally, after 43 long days of stress, delay, confusion, the government shutdown is finally over. Hey beautiful people, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you for stopping by. So credit goes to the creators in these videos. Guys, in today's video, Congress passed the deal, the House approved it, and Trump signed it. And just like that, the longest shutdown in US history came to an end. For weeks, Americans were holding their breath. Federal workers were not paid. Families relying on food benefits were worried, right? Phones went unanswered. Agencies slowed down. Some closed. Everyone was tired of the back and forth. But now the government is reopened. Now, guys, don't get it twisted. This was not a victory dance, right? It was relief because the shutdown never hurt politicians. It hurts the people that keep the country running. Now, guys, this is where it gets interesting because the deal that ended the shutdown was not some big magical fix. It was a temporary funding agreement to stop the bleeding. Let's see what the creators have to say, and I'll see you soon.
Well, by now you've heard it. The government's back open again. Well, at least that's what they're telling you anyway. But here's what they're not telling you. It never really closed for them in the first place, did it? Only for us. They got their deals, their paychecks, they got their motorcades, and they kept the lights on in their offices, right? Perks were flowing, cameras rolling, the whole works, while millions of Americans went weeks without income. Food programs froze, small businesses bled out. You've heard it all, right? They call it a shutdown. But it was never about balancing budgets or saving money in the first place. It was about control. It was about showing who can make the country stop and start at will. It was a complete power play. Think about that. They can flip a switch, shut down your livelihood, and then call it democracy. And when it's over, they pat themselves on the back and say, look, hey, we won. They took something sacred, the daily work of ordinary Americans, and they turned it into a weapon. They used it to trade favors, punish rivals, and push policies that some people didn't vote for. They made our pain part of their power play. And then they smiled for the cameras and called it a compromise. But the only thing both parties agreed on was to protect themselves. Healthcare funding for millions is still hanging in the balance. Federal workers' pay was delayed for weeks. Billions were lost in tourism, travel, and of course we lost trust. And now they call it victory. But for who? Because for you and me, nothing changed. The machine just restarted, grinding away like it always does, burning your tax dollars to keep itself alive. This is another moment where we have to wake up. Because if a system can shut itself down and still feed off your money while you suffer, then it's not a system of service, is it? It's a system of survival for the very few. And look, the fact is this. There's a simple solution to all these problems. There's a simple solution to healthcare, a simple solution to taxes. There's a simple solution to SNAP benefits, Medicare, Medicaid, all of it. Simple solutions. But again, it's not going to be red or blue who solves it. We have to solve it. It's about you, the citizen, the builder, the one who shows up every day, works hard, and keeps this country alive, even when Washington plays games with us. The truth is, they count on us being too tired and too busy to notice or question it, too divided to unite against it. But if we just finally wake up and realize our strength doesn't come from Washington, the second we remember that, leadership starts in our homes, our towns, and our communities, everything changes. When I talk about citizen leadership, it's not a slogan, it's survival. The survival of our country, our people, and our children. Because let's face it, if we keep waiting for these same people to fix what they broke in the first place, we'll be waiting forever. It's time that we lead again, not from the top down, but from the ground up, from the dinner table, the job site, from the places real Americans live, work, and build. And that, my friend, is how we take America back.
Guys, many of the bills that were passed in which, this government shutdown came to an end was that this bill funds most government agencies only until January 30, 2026, meaning we could all be right back here in a few months. Now, a few agencies like Agriculture, Veterans Affairs, and Legislative Branch got full year funding, so they are good until about September 2026. Federal workers will finally get their back pay, and the deal also blocked the layoffs that were about to hit thousands of government employees. SNAP, the program millions depend on, is funded for a year, right? So food benefits are safe for now. But one of the biggest issues that caused the shutdown in the first place, the fight over ACA health subsidies, was not solved. Democrats wanted those subsidies extended, Republicans did not. And in the final deal, guys, the subsidies did not get extended at all. Like, the whole point of this shutdown did not even get resolved. They only promised a future vote in December, and there is no guarantee that anything will change. So in essence, the shutdown ended, but the main disagreement, guys, the main reason for this shutdown is still sitting right on the table, guys. And here's what everyone needs to understand, because the shutdown ended, but the real problem did not end. The government reopened, agents are back online, workers can breathe again, SNAP is funded, paychecks are returning. All of that is good, but the main issue is still unresolved.
The 43-day government shutdown is officially over. President Donald Trump signed the new funding bill, ending the longest shutdown in U.S. history and reopening the federal government. But don't let the headlines fool you. This wasn't a clean victory for either side. This was a political hostage crisis that dragged the entire country to the edge. Here's what happened. For 6 weeks, federal workers went unpaid. TSA agents, air traffic controllers, park services, IRS staff, all working without a dime. National parks closed, court cases stalled, and critical programs ran on fumes. Over $1 trillion in economic damage, all because Washington couldn't agree on what comes next for healthcare, subsidies, and budget priorities. The bill doesn't solve those fights. It just pauses them. Agencies will now begin a slow restart. Social Security offices, federal loans, food assistance centers, small business operations, all coming back online over the next 48 to 72 hours. But here's the bigger picture. A 43-day shutdown shows just how fragile this government is. One standoff, one stalled vote, and the entire system grinds to a halt. If this can happen over budget paperwork, imagine what happens during a real national emergency.
The longest shutdown in U.S. history is over. The doors to the federal government are open, but don't get too comfortable. The doors may be open today, but the clock is already ticking. Federal employees, we need to have another stand-up meeting. Come on, let's gather. Hi, if you don't know me, I'm Nolans. I've been with the federal government for 24 years. In my past series, I've been breaking down the impacts of this government shutdown on federal workers and educating the masses, because not everybody knows how a shutdown goes. So let's talk about what we really walked back into. So last night, the House voted and they passed a continuing resolution, which is a CR in federal terms. The president ended up signing it late last night. But this CR only funds the government until January 30th, 2026. Now, let me break this down to you. The CR funds majority of the federal agencies only until January 30th, 2026, including the agency I work for. So this is only temporary funding. There are only a handful of agencies that got full year funding, and those agencies are people like the VA, FDA, Department of Agriculture, military construction. Oh, and legislative branches such as Congress. Also in that CR, they did end up approving funding for major programs such as SNAP, which will be funded until September 2026. Also, back pay for federal workers. Unfortunately, the CR does not cover extensions for the affordable health care subsidies. And isn't it ironic that the government reopens right before the holidays? Because what usually happens around the holidays? People tend to spend what? Coins. So my federal employees, I need you to be smart. Please don't get too comfortable because we could be back in this situation come January 30th, 2026. And it's not like if our payments will drop into our lap today. We still have to catch up on bills that we had extended. If you took out unemployment, you have to pay that back. You're going to get double tax. Your insurance premiums have been piling up. So we are going to be playing catch up for a little while. So be smart with your finances, plan ahead, because if this shutdown hasn't taught us anything else, it taught us that as soon as it can shut down, it could reopen and shut down again. So federal workers, it's your turn. Now I want to hear from you. How are you feeling about returning to work today? Grateful, relieved, being cautious because it's only temporary?
Guys, at the end of the day, the shutdown did not end with a big solution. It ended with a pause button. I mean, America is running again, but the fight that caused the shutdown in the first place is still out there waiting. So the truth is, the shutdown is not really over, right? Only the suffering is. And the argument behind it is still coming, because if Washington doesn't figure out this soon, this country might be right back where it was some couple of days ago. Anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. What do you think about this? What do you think about the end of this shutdown? And what do you think is going to bring about in the future? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I really want to hear from you. And if you have found value in this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in my next video. Please stay safe. Mental health is important. Ciao.